Take a seat right over there. Na, 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 na.
Is that a really long delay on keyboard?
Hello. Watch your step.
Is that a really long delay on keyboard?
Watch your step. Sit close to the front. All right, everybody sit in the front. I want to see your faces. There you go. All right, everybody sit in the front. I want to see your faces. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, right? Saturday. All right. Who here is from Greenville? Who here is from, like, Washington? Are you guys from Washington? Anybody? Where else are you from? Where? Okay. Cool. All right, as you're walking in, I want everybody to stand up, just for, like, the first two songs, then you can sit down, have your rest. Everybody stand up. Up, up. There you go. All right, I think you're gonna know this one. Take a seat right over there, sat on the stairs, stay or leave. The cabinets are bare and I'm unaware of just how we got into this mess. Got so aggressive, I know we meant all good intentions. So pull me closer, why don't you pull me close? Why don't you come on over, I can't just let you go. Oh baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle, come on, baby. Why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle. Take a step back for a minute into the kitchen, floors are wet. Taps are still running. How did we get into this mess? Got so aggressive. I know we meant all good intentions. So pull me closer. Why don't you pull me close? Why don't you come on over? I can't just let you go. Sing with me. Oh, baby. Why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle. Oh baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle, baby? I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle, oh baby. Why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle, oh baby. Why don't you just meet me in the middle, baby? I'm losing my mind just a little. So why don't you just meet me in the middle? In the middle, There we go. Whoa. Whoa. Sing it with me. Whoa. Whoa. Who breaks the power of sin and darkness? Whose love is mighty and so much stronger? The King of glory, the King above all kings. Who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder and leaves us breathless in awe and wonder? The King of glory, the King above all kings. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You laid down your life. That I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Sing with me. Oh, who brings our chaos back into order? Who makes the orphan a son and daughter? The King of glory, the King of glory, who rules the nation with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of its brilliance. The King of glory, the King above all kings. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. Oh, you laid down your life. That I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Oh, worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy, worthy, worthy. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. Do I know any of you? Raise your hand. Have I seen you? Have I come given a talk? I recognize you. All right, nice to see you guys again. This is the band, Gabe, Paulo, Britt. Everybody give them a warm welcome. All right, we're excited for this day today. We're excited to be with y'all. This is going to be such a beautiful time. Who has ever been to this retreat before? Yeah! Well, I was here, apparently, right? Okay, cool. So we have a few different talks for you, a few different songs, and let's just be open to the Holy Spirit today. It's going to be fun. Some help on this next one. It's called My Savior and Me. There we go. I'll play it like this. Okay, so I need you guys to repeat after me. My Savior and me. You think you can do that? All right. 2, 3, go. Whoa, my Savior and me. Beautiful. Every time that comes up, you better sing it because it's really like not that fun just hearing myself up here. All right, so sing it with me. Tell me, Lord, how can it be that you would choose to use someone like me? Someone like me. Couple billion people in this world, you have chosen to use somebody so unworthy. I'm just another pen, your bulletin paper, a reflection of my maker. I at your light, but still you shine. I'm just another fingerprint in the paper, a reflection of my maker. Write your name on my soul. I'm just another chapter in your story, another expression of your glory. Have your way in my soul. Surrender all control. Let my heart beat to the rhythm of your song. Make the world wanna sing along. From the mountains to the valleys. Let my words be truth and life. Push out the dark, bring in the light, so the whole wide world can see. Fill me up, fill my cup. I will never, never be empty. I will never, never be empty. Pour me out like a flood. Oh, wherever, Lord, you send me. Let my heart beat. Oh, let my heart beat. Let my heart beat to the rhythm of your song. Make the world wanna sing along. From the mountains to the valleys. Let my words be truth and life. Push out the dark, bring in the light, so the whole wide world can see. Here we go. My Savior in me. Sing it. My Savior in me. Oh, 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 oh. One more time. Oh, 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 oh. So the whole wide world can see. My Savior in me. Beautiful. Wow. All right. So I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about, college in my talk today. I ended up writing this song called Capable my freshman year of college. It was a little hard, right? Pleasure-seeking society that I was in. But I knew God could bring good out of anything that didn't seem so great. My freshman year didn't seem that great, but I ended up writing this song, and I feel like it was God speaking to me, so I hope you love it. You are the life in me. You are the air I breathe. You're keeping me alive, even when I'm running away. You are the light I see when I am buried deep. You lift me from the ground, giving me a chance to start again. You are relentlessly always taking care of me, and I am the guilty one. I am so unworthy. You are relentlessly always watching over me, and I'm the unworthy one. Where there is sorrow, you are peace. Where there is pain, you are relief. All about change you can release to save the unsavable. Where there is stain, you wipe it clean. You are the only good that is in me, and it's so unmistakable that Lord you are capable. You are the life in me. You are the air I breathe. You're keeping me alive, even when I'm running away. You are the light I see when I am buried deep. You lift me from the ground, giving me a chance to start again. You are relentlessly always taking So guys, feel free if you want to sit down or whatever you want to do. I'm not going to make you stand, but I have a few now like songs and stories for y'all. I hope you can identify with these things, because I'm in my 20s now, but I very easily remember what it was like being in college. And newsflash, some things just don't change, even if you're in your 20s. I think that's shown in this next song. It's called Trust Issues. I haven't put it out yet. A lot of those other songs that we just sang, I've put out. But so trust issues. I think a lot of people are going through a lot of anxiety these days. I'm usually a peaceful person, but over the past year or so, with everything God's called me to do, and just life situations, it's been really hard to feel like I trust Him. And I felt a lot of anxiety, like if you've ever felt that weight on your chest and you feel like it won't go away. That's when I wrote this song. And I was really afraid that I had trusted God my whole life, because I really felt like I had. And now all of a sudden with this anxiety that I wasn't trusting God anymore. And I felt like He might be disappointed in me. I don't know if you've ever felt that. And in the midst of that, I felt like God was saying, Dana, you just saying, Jesus, I trust in you, in the middle of the anxiety, that's what I need. That's what pleases me. That's what makes me so proud of you. And so even now in my life, when I'm anxious, that doesn't mean I'm not trusting God. When you're anxious, doesn't mean you're not trusting God. Just say, Lord, I trust you in the middle of all of this, right? He's so pleased with that. It's okay to be human, right? It's okay to have these issues. So that's what this song's about. I got a big heart and some bigger dreams. I got confidence, or so it seems. But I lay awake in my bed, worried thoughts in my head, put on a brave face when I'm really not. Or why can't I make the voices stop? I lay awake in my bed, Oh, I got trust issues, and they're creeping out. If I lean on you, will you let me down? Oh, I gotta take a moment to remember every time I broke down and surrendered. You led me through like you always do, but I guess it's you, man. I got trust issues. Ooh, I got trust issues. Ooh, I got trust. I got issues. I got issues. I talk a big game, and most days I live it, but there are some nights I worry I'll miss it. 2 a.m., half asleep, need some rest, need some peace. Lean on your God like you lay on your pillow. Not gonna lie, it's a hard pill to swallow. 2 a.m., half asleep, oh, I got trust issues, and they're creeping out. If I lean on you, will you let me down? Oh, I gotta take a moment to remember every time I broke down and surrendered. You led me through like you always do, but I guess it's you, man. I got trust issues, and they're creeping out. If I lean on you, will you let me down? Oh, I gotta take a moment to remember every time I broke down and surrendered. You led me through like you always do, but I guess it's you, man. Trust issues. Ooh, I got trust. I got issues. I got issues. All right, thank you. I feel like there are so many stories to all of these songs. So this next one is called Maybe. I actually am putting this out soon, so I'm excited. I'm in the studio in Nashville working on this lately. And the little story behind this is that I moved to Nashville a few months ago on my birthday, actually. Thank God it's turned out being good. It's a good year so far. And I felt like in that first week, I just was picking myself apart. I don't know if you've ever felt that, where you look at everybody else around you and you think, maybe if I was different, I'd belong. Maybe if I was different, I'd feel better about myself. And for me, I started thinking, what if I was older, right? Like, what if I've been in this business longer? What if I was bolder or more charismatic or whatever it is, right? What if I was this or that? And I got so sick of it. Because even in my talks, I talk about loving yourself as you are, right? Because that's how God created us. But I was battling with this stuff now. And I got so annoyed with it that it was like 12 or 1 a.m. that first week, one of the nights in Nashville, and I just sat down with my guitar and I said, God, you gotta help me. You gotta help me because I am just picking myself apart and I know that's not what you want for me. And I was listening to the voice of anything but God. And so I said, Lord, just help me find your voice and listen to that instead of the voice of accusation or the voice of insecurity in my own head. And I know you guys can relate to that. So that's how I started writing this song. Next day we finished it, and now it's gonna be one of my next singles. So I hope you enjoy it. Brand new start, new place, new world, feeling like I'm the new girl. I just wanna fit in. Everyone is singing her praises. What if she doesn't meet their expectations? Y'all, I just messed it up. We are starting over. We are starting over. All right, just pretend that didn't happen. Just forget, right? We're not perfect. All right, we're starting over. These lyrics are important. I can't mess them up. Brand new start, new place, new world, feeling like I'm the new girl. I just wanna fit in. Independence into a fault, but deep down I just wanna belong. Maybe if I was different. Maybe if I was just a little older. Maybe a little more experienced. Maybe if I was just a little less like me, like me. Maybe if I was just a little wiser. Maybe just a little more confident. Got all these questions in my head, but maybe I should trust your voice instead. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Same old song, done that, been there, wonders why she still compares. Why can't she figure it out? Everyone is singing her praises. What if she doesn't meet their expectations? Buried deep in her doubts, now she's thinking out loud. Maybe if I was just a little older. Maybe a little more experienced. Maybe if I was just a little less like me, like me. Maybe if I was just a little wiser. Maybe just a little more confident. Got all these questions in my head, but maybe I should trust your voice instead. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah. All the little lies living in your thoughts, telling you you need more than what you got. Yeah, you don't got to be anything you're not. You don't got to be anything. No. All the little lies living in your thoughts, telling you you need more than what you got. No, you don't got to be anything you're not. You don't got to worry. Maybe if I was just a little older. Maybe a little more experienced. Maybe if I was just a little less like me, like me. Maybe if I was just a little wiser. Maybe just a little more confident. Got all these questions in my head. Maybe I should trust your voice. Got all these questions in my head. Maybe I should trust your voice instead. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah. There we go. Let that mess up just show you don't have to be perfect. All right, this is the last song. So let's everybody stand up. We're gonna have a fun day. I need some help on this too, all right? I like involvement, it's fun. Okay, so this is my latest single, Surrender Song. So if you look up like Dana Catherine Music on Instagram or Dana Catherine on Spotify, you will find this, okay? So can you sing this with me? I know you can. I know you sing in your shower, in your car. You have a beautiful voice. I need to hear it, okay? Listen. Oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na. 2, 3, go. Oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na. Easy? That's easy, right? Okay. I've been thinking about a lot these days. I've been thinking about everything. I've been thinking about where my heart's at. Is it all yours or am I holding it back? If you're a father of love, make me a child of trust as I sing my song to you. Like, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na. This is my surrender song. Not for so long I've been holding on song. Now I'm giving it all back to you. Na 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 to you. Na 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 na. This is my surrender song. Now I'm living in complete abandon. 'Cause I'm giving it all back to you. Na 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 to you. I've been living with one foot in your grace and the other deep in earthly things. I've been letting the fear of what won't be conquer the hopes of what you have for me. If you're a father of love, make me a child of trust as I sing my song to you. Like, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na, oh na na na. Yeah, this is my surrender song. My for so long I've been holding on song. Now I'm giving it all back to you. Na 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 to you. Na 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 na. This is my surrender song. Now I'm living in complete abandon. 'Cause I'm giving it all back to you. Na 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 to you. Na 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 na. This is my surrender song. Not for so long I've been holding on song. Now I'm giving it all back to you. Na 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 to you. This is my surrender song. Now I'm living in complete abandon. 'Cause I'm giving it all back to you. Na 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 to you. I've been thinking about a lot these days. I've been thinking about everything. All right, thank you guys so much. Can't wait to see you. Let's welcome up PJ Anderson.
As long as a ship remains in the
Let's
harbor,
welcome up
it is
PJ
safe.
Anderson.
A ship in the harbor does not have to worry about the dangers of the open ocean. It is protected by land around it and the dock. It doesn't have to worry about the vast and limitless sea that contains so many perils. But the ship is not made for the harbor. This ship is made for the sea. It is protected. While the harbor may be safe, the ship will never do its job unless the captain and crew decide to look death squarely in the eye and to set out into the unknown. You are not made for comfort.
You were not made to avoid risks. How y'all doing? Are you awake right now? You're vibrantly awake, is that what you said?
I said I'm vibing.
You're vibing, all right. Well guys, my name is PJ Anderson, and it's really good to be here with you guys. You guys pumped to be here? Yeah. All right. I don't believe you. You know what? I play music and I give talks at a lot of retreats, and this is pretty normal. I'm not gonna lie. At every retreat I go to, there's always like the kids that are super pumped to be there, that are vibing in the front row. Always. Like, let's hear it for those guys. Come on, right there. And then there's the crew that's like, oh, like I really didn't want to go, but my friends are going. So it's like, it's okay. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fine. It's just a little bit. Let's hear it for those people. Come on. And then there's the crowd that's like, this is the last place I want to be right now. You know it's true. You're nervously laughing because you know it's true. Like, I'm here because my parents made me come. And I'm here because it's required that I'm here. Let's hear it for those people too, you know? Everyone. And the thing is, guys, we're all here. We're here for the day. And in my experience, what you put into a retreat, what you give to a retreat is what you'll get out of it. So if you're like if you don't want to be here and you know that you're never gonna get up to the vibing row, then that's what you're gonna get out of it. You're not gonna get anything out of it. But just be open to what the Lord has for you today. Because you're gonna hear some great messages. You're gonna hear some really amazing music. Let's hear it for the band, for Dana and the band as well. Great. It's like those guys are professionals or something. But be open to what God has planned for you today in this space. Because he intended for you to be here from the beginning of time, from the time that he knew that he was gonna create you. He knew that you'd be here at Pope John Paul High School. This is a high school? This is so cool that it has this space here. So he knew that. So be open to what God has planned for you today. And so basically there's going to be a few talks, there's going to be some music, there's going to be some breaks, there's going to be some games and some food. But I'm really pumped to be here. So can I introduce you to my family? Is that cool? Are you guys awake? Are you with me? Come on. All right, so my family's not here, but I've been on the road like 20 some days out of 31 days in January. So part of this is for you to meet my family, and part of this is because I'm really missing them, and I just need to see adorable pictures of them. So my wife and I, we have 3 kids, and so I've got a few pictures of them. So Trey, he's our oldest. This is Trey. Aw, right? Look at that. Look at that kid. He's into baseball and basketball. He's into Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars, I decided to wear my Han Solo jacket today. But this is Trey. He's our hilarious, outgoing kid. He doesn't know a stranger. He'll just show up to playgrounds that he's never been to and be like, I'm here. Who wants to play with me? So that's Trey. And then there's another picture of him, I think. Look at that kid. He's adorable. So this is like minutes after his first confession. And this is him looking over at me saying, Dad, I'm praying. Because he was doing his penance. He was super stoked to go to confession, which I wish I could say that that's because I'm an awesome parent and that he really wanted to go to confession, but I don't know where that came from. Because he was like, I want to be first in line at confession. And then he came back and he's like, I got second. But I let a girl go in front of me. I'm like, good job, son. So that's Trey. He's a sweet little kid. And then this is Claire. She's our little artsy one. Aww, look at those cat ears. Those are fake, they're not real. She wasn't born with cat ears. But this is, she's our little artsy child. Most of our house is filled with little scenes that have little figurines and little characters and things that she cut out. All of our house, because she's really artsy. And so our house is a mess because of her, but it's adorable. And so this is the picture that we wanted her to take, and then this is the picture she wanted to take. That's like when she gets older, that's gonna be her first rap album cover, I think. If they're still making album covers back, in a few years. But that's Claire, and then she's not as outgoing as Trey. She's getting there, but she's a little more shy. And then Elliot, she's kind of a mix between the two. Look at her, she's 3. Oh, she's adorable. She's like the only one with blue eyes. She's really funny. She knows all the words. She's only 3. Well, she's 3.5. If you meet her, she'll be sure to tell you, I'm not 3. I'm 3.5. Even though she's like 3 3/4 because she's almost 4. And then, oh, look at her. I know. Can we get her like, aww? Yeah, look at her. Man, I miss them. And then we got a picture of all of them actually smiling all at the same time, which is quite a feat because Claire, like I said, she's not our outgoing one. So she is kind of like she could be smiling until you say, we're going to take a picture now, Claire. And she'll be like, and stink eye you. That's what we'll see in the next picture. We have a whole family picture with my wife, and she's stink-eyeing us. Not my wife, but Claire is. Like, look at that. She's like, I hate taking pictures. And so that's my family. I have to brag about this, so like wherever I go, don't brag, but this is like a fun thing to brag about. So you saw we have 3 kids, and we're 3 for 3, okay? This has happened to each of my kids over the last couple years. We had a little video. So there's the Pope. He's the one in white. Little fist pump. And then that's my son. That's the day after his 3rd birthday. And the Secret Service dude's like, come here, I'm gonna lift you on up. We're gonna get a little smooch from the Pope. Notice that the day that our son met the Pope, we forgot to put shoes on him. So he's wearing yesterday's socks. So good job, Andersons. And then this is Claire. She's like 10 months old. She's like, what is happening right now? Who's this strange man? That's my friend Steven's hand. You get a little smooch. It's my friend Steven's head in the way. Thank you, Steven. Another little fist pump. And then, like 3 years later, we went back to Rome. And we had Ellie at this time. So there's Ellie. She's in green. There's the Pope. He's in white again. He just drove right by. But he came back. We're 3 for 3, a little slow-mo video. It's really slow. Notice the guy that's turning his head right now. He's like, don't forget which one's the dad. Don't forget which one's the dad. Don't forget which one's the dad. We need to return this child. And then he brings her back. So that has happened to all our kids. We're 3 for 3. They've all been kissed by the Pope. Is that crazy? Yeah, let's hear it. All right. So if you ever meet Ellie, you have to promise me something. That you will not tell her this. So my wife and I, we lead these pilgrimages to Rome. It's like a church trip to Rome. So I lived in Rome, Italy for a year, working, and I studied there, and I went back as a resident assistant at the school that I was studying at. And so I got to live there for a year and a half. And now my wife and I, we lead pilgrimages there. So we lead tour groups, and we give them tours. We book all their, all the stuff, and we visit all these churches and holy sites and things. And on this particular time with Ellie, we decided, my wife and I were like, we're not really going to try that hard with Ellie. So don't tell her that. Because we were like, 2 out of 3, it's pretty good. We don't need to go for 3 for 3. Like 2 out of 3, that'll get us in the Hall of Fame if we were a baseball player. So it's like, that's good enough, But what happened was one of the Swiss guards, so the Swiss guards are like the Pope's private police, okay? So they wear these really funny uniforms that are like rainbow colored and like really flowy, and they have these hats that they wear that have like ostrich feathers on them. But don't let the flowy rainbow costume trick you, because you don't want to mess with them. Like, you just do what they say, because they could kill you. Like 37 different ways with their pinky finger. And they have 2 pinkies. And in addition to those pinkies, they walk around with a huge axe. So when they tell you to do something, they're protecting the Pope, for crying out loud. So you do what they say when they tell you to do it. And so this Swiss guard, he saw Ellie, and he looked at me, and he came up to me, and he said, this isn't a joke, I'm not making this up. He said, lift her up. like the Lion King. And he did this. And I was like, okay. I don't know the words. So I'm like, Rach, we have to do this. The Pope's private police, they said we have to do this. So I did it, and he drove right by, and then all of a sudden this Secret Service dude comes, the guy in the suits, so not the Swiss guards, the guy with the suits and the earpiece and stuff. And you don't mess with them either. And he came over to me, and he said, give me the baby. And I said, okay. And I gave this random stranger my baby, but it was for a good cause. So we're happy about it. So that is my family. So thanks for letting me introduce them to you. Now, guys, I'm obsessed with this show. It's called One Strange Rock. Has anyone seen it? No one? Okay. Awesome. Well, it's really good. It's a documentary, and now you're like, snooze fest, but it's not. It's really good. It's about the origins of the earth, okay, and like how the earth came to be, and how we still exist, and how we haven't exploded, and how like that thin blue line that we call the sky protects us from like this violent universe, and how we're spinning at the perfect speed and the perfect angle, and if we were to move like one little tiny little minuscule amount of measurement, we'd blow up. And it's narrated by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith. And it's from the perspective, like he's interviewing 9 astronauts. So I just came in from Houston. So Houston, there's lots of space stuff in Houston. Houston, we have a problem. Astronauts always, they're super smart people, right? Like in order to be an astronaut, they're not just gonna send someone who's like average smart or like D's and F's. Do you even have D's and F's anymore? Like I get my kids' report cards and it's like E, F, S. I'm like, what does that mean? What happened to A, B, C, D, F? And why did E get cut out in the original? Never mind, I have ADD, I'm sorry. But astronauts, they're smart. They're not just gonna send anybody up into space. I mean, I guess they've sent like a monkey and a dog. But like if they're gonna send a human, it's gonna be a smart one, right? Rocket science is their business. So they're smart. And all these astronauts, they're like children. They're being interviewed, and they're like children learning about something for the very first time. They are like so excited to talk about the earth and how it came to be. And one of them says, it's so wonderfully unlikely, and yet it's here. And they're also willing to believe this idea that like one time, some billions of years ago, that all of a sudden like a bunch of carbon came in from over here, and then some water came in from over here, and some energy brought them together, and then like, quote, stardust, they talk about stardust a lot, and then stardust kind of entered in from over here, and then poof, there's the earth. I just ruined this guy's vibe over here. He's like, I need to take a rest. But like stardust just all of a sudden collided, and then there we have the earth. You know, like what if I was to say, this is a beautiful guitar. This is Dana's, it's not mine, but I have one that looks very similar to this. What if I was to tell you that my guitar that looks like this, I was sitting in my music room in Nashville, and I was sitting at the piano trying to write a song, and all of a sudden, like, it was really strange. Like I don't know where my guitar, you'd think I'd got it from Guitar Center, but I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden this little speck of dust like flew into my music room. That was weird. That was a really big piece of dust. 2 kids, 3 kids, 2 dogs. It's probably just one of them. And then all of a sudden, like a few planks of wood flew into my office. And then I saw these like little guitar strings like wiggling into the office. And then I finished the song. I turned around, and there was a guitar sitting behind me that wasn't there before. Like I didn't buy this guitar. It just showed up. You're all looking at me like, you are crazy. You're a crazy person, PJ. Who did they get to speak at this thing? Because that's crazy, right? Would you believe anyone if they told you that a guitar just showed up in their music room? Would you believe that? How about you in the leather jacket or in the black jacket right in the middle? Would you believe that? You would? Whoa, that's crazy. I'm not the crazy one. But that's crazy to believe that. And all of these extremely smart astronauts are willing to believe that. To say that a bunch of stardust just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And boom, there's the earth. And then there's all the vegetation and all the water and all the plants and all the animals and all the humans. So the thing that's missing for me in this show is the mover, the creator, the one who set that carbon in motion, the one who created the stardust. That's what's missing. And here's what I know. I know that we have a God who separated the light from the dark. A God who took nothing and made everything. I think I just wrote a song. We need to write that song. He took nothing and made everything. I just spoke at a retreat in Nashville and was talking with the pastor, and he said, scientists have come up. They've figured out how to create life from nothing, and the scientists, God approached them and was like, it was kind of a joke, but God was like, no, you didn't create out of nothing. You need to go back to the drawing board and literally start with nothing. You don't get to use the stuff that I created and then create life. He literally took nothing and created everything. And he separated land from water. He grew the plants. He created the animals. And he created us. We have a God who did not need us. God does not need you. As important as you think you are, you're all in high school, right? Yeah. As important as you think you are right now, as important as I think I am, God does not need me. But somehow he wants me. And somehow he wants you. And he loves you. I told you that I am kind of obsessed with Rome. It's kind of a second home for us. We take usually 3 to 5 church trips a year there, and so it's kind of our second home. And one thing that I love about it is visiting all these holy sites and seeing these beautiful churches. And there's one thing called the Sistine Chapel. Have you guys heard of the Sistine Chapel before? Anyone know who painted it? Michelangelo, not just a Ninja Turtle. He's an amazing painter and sculptor. And so, in the Sistine Chapel, it is. There's 2 main things in it. There's a lot of things, but like on the back altar is a scene that he painted. He painted them 25 years apart. He didn't do all this at the same time, but one of them is the Last Judgment. And then on the ceiling, so that's like Jesus in the center and Mary and Peter to his left and right, and then like those that are falling into hell on his left, and those that are rising up to heaven on his right. But on the ceiling is something different. There's 9 different stories, all from Genesis. Or 6 stories from Genesis and then 3 stories of Noah. So 6 stories of creation. And right smack dab in the middle of the Sistine Chapel is probably the most famous one. I've got a little picture of that. It's the creation of man, the creation of Adam. Have you all seen this before? Has anyone been there before? A couple of you guys? Sweet. So this was right in the middle. And it's the moment that God is giving us life with his right hand. Adam is just lying there lifeless, waiting for life. And God is like getting floated around heaven by a bunch of little chubby cherubs, doing whatever God does before he created everything. And he's reaching over to give life. And in that moment, God knows. He knows all of the things that you're going to do to him. He knows all the things that I'm going to do to him. He knows all the times that I'm going to say, God, I don't need you. God, I can do this by myself. God, I don't care about you. I don't even know who you are. And in that moment, God could have said, you know what? I'll pull that hand back a little bit, because you know what? This is not worth it. I don't need this. They're not worth it. But that's not what he does. He gives us life with his right. But I want you to look at what he's doing with his left hand. He's reaching through all those little chubby cherubs. And he's got his arm around a woman. And he's touching a baby on the shoulder. Because in that moment, he knew that he was going to have to send through Mary, through that woman that his arm is around. He knew he was going to have to send a Savior. He knew that he was going to have to send that little 6-pound, 7-ounce baby Jesus. Like, he knew it. To save us. And he promised that salvation from the beginning, and he intended mercy from the very beginning. That's the kind of God that we have. One that can create all this, who doesn't need us, who gives us life, and promises us eternity with him. It's a lot to wrap your head around, but that's what he's done for us. And he's created us for a couple reasons. Well, probably a lot more reasons, but just for time's sake, 3 reasons. He created us to love us, because like I said, he doesn't need us. So he created us to love us, for us to discover that love. And number 3, once we do, to give that love away. I want to share this song that I wrote. It's one that woke me up in the middle of the night. You know, it's having 3 kids, getting woken up in the middle of the night is pretty normal. Usually by about 2 a.m., there's 5 people in our bed, not random people, my wife and I and 3 kids. It sounded weird. But this night, it wasn't one of the kids that woke me up. It was this thought that was in my head. And that thought was this. Thank you, Dana, for letting me use your guitar. The thought was this: hatred is a burden I no longer want to carry. Think about that. Hatred is a burden I no longer want to carry. That's all hatred is. It's a burden. It's a burden to the one being hated. And it's a burden to the one doing the hating. You know? Have you ever had a grudge against somebody? How many people have hated somebody before? It's okay, I'm raising my hand too. If you're not raising your hand, you're probably lying to yourself and all of us. But it's happened. And it consumes you. That's all you can think about. And so that night, I typed that in my phone, and a few days later, I wrote this song. And I was super pumped. Like, it was January of whatever year it was. And like, I remember that because 2 months later, Pope Francis, my kid's best friend, he announced that the next year was going to be the Holy Year of Mercy. And I had just written this song called Mercy, Mercy. And I was like, sweet. Pope Francis must be listening to PJ Anderson on Spotify. You know? Probably not. He's probably not listening. But maybe. Probably not. But God intended that mercy. And he doesn't want us to be consumed by hate. He doesn't want us to be consumed by jealousy and violence. He created a world perfect, and we've made it imperfect. But this song is about getting back to that world as God created it. It's called Mercy, Mercy. You became like me, so I could see more like you. The as it should be, the way that you created it to be. Where beauty is beyond what we can show, and hatred is a burden we don't know. Sing this with me. And mercy, mercy, it's sweet like the summer rain. Forgiveness is a fortress that takes away our pain. And joy is ever flowing through our bones. Your love is like a love we've never known. And you became like me. You became like me, so I could see more like you. The world as it should be. The world as it should be, the way that you created it to be. Where beauty is beyond what we can show, and hatred is a burden we don't know. And mercy, mercy, it's sweet like the summer rain. Forgiveness is a fortress that takes away our pain. And joy is ever flowing through our bones. Your love is like a love we've never known. And let's sing that again. And your mercy is the calm in my storm. Your light is like the sun that brings me home. Your mercy is the calm in my storm. Your light is like the sun that brings me home. Let's sing mercy together. And mercy, mercy, it's sweet like the summer rain. Forgiveness is a fortress that takes away our pain. And joy is ever flowing through our bones. Let's sing mercy. And mercy, mercy, it's sweet like the summer rain. Forgiveness is a fortress that takes away our pain. And joy is ever flowing through our bones. Your love is like a love we've never known. And joy is ever flowing through our bones. Your love is like a love we've never known. So that's the kind of, thanks. That's the kind of God that we have, a God who intends to share that mercy with us. to share his love with us. And the thing is, our faith is not meant to be one of passiveness. It's not meant to be one that we just wait. It's not meant to be something that we just go through the motions. And honestly, we all do it, you know? We all go through the motions at times. We all sit down, and maybe we go to Mass and we hear that reading, we hear that gospel, and like the first sentence, maybe if you made it to the first sentence, maybe you're already checked out, but maybe you got to the first sentence and you're like, oh, yeah. This is the fishes and the loaves one, where Jesus like takes the couple loaves of fish and a couple fish and a couple loaves of fish. That'd be disgusting. A couple loaves of bread and a couple fish, and he feeds 5,000 people, and they have 12 baskets of leftovers. I already know this one. I'm going to check out. I'm going to think what football games are on today? Does that cute girl 3 seats away from me like me? I'm gonna think about like, what am I doing tomorrow? Like we check out, you know? But Jesus didn't come to this earth and die on a cross and live life, teach us how to live, and then die for us to just go through the motions. You know, John 10:10 tells us that Christ came to this world to give us life and to give us life to the, do you know what it says? To the fullest. That's why he came. So we can't just sit and go through the motions. You know, but I think what the problem is, we think there's this path that's just how it is. That it's just going to be like this. Yes, like, so it starts when you're a little kid and you're like, yes, of course, I believe all these cutesy little Bible stories that are being told to me by these little cartoon vegetables. You know? You guys remember the VeggieTales? Yeah? Well, we got clapping for the VeggieTales, all right. Wait, I have to share something during Mercy Mercy. This has never happened before. I mean, I've seen like people take their phones out and do the flashlight thing, and somebody in the front row took out an unopened pack of Pop-Tarts and was lifting them up in the air. It was amazing. Like I kind of want to start passing Pop-Tarts out at concerts and things. That was just, maybe it made my day. So thank you. Thank you. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, VeggieTales. So you're like, yeah, I'm a kid, of course, like Bob the tomato. I trust everything you say. And Larry the cucumber, it makes perfect sense. And then you get to middle school and high school, and you're like, wait, hold on a second. I don't even like tomatoes unless they're in ketchup form. And that's not even really a tomato. And I especially like them when they come in that little Chick-fil-A one that you can squirt it one way and you can rip it open the other way. Like that's the best, but I don't like tomatoes and cucumbers. Who likes cucumbers? Nobody, adults. Adults put them in water and they ruin water. They make water taste bad by putting cucumbers in water. Like, I don't trust any of this. Like, why did I even believe that stuff? You know? And then, like, you get to college and maybe you're like, maybe you have a big, like, retreat or a mission trip or something that like kind of brought you back, or maybe you just keep on that path of like hating tomatoes and cucumbers and you're like, I don't know. But what you're really waiting for is for you to turn 80 years old. And you're like, now my time has come. Now is when I can take my faith seriously. And now I'm not only going to go to church on Sundays, I'm going to go to church every single day. And I'm not only going to go to Mass every day, I'm going to get there 45 minutes early so I can pray at least 3 rosaries. And so I can sit in that pew that no one else is allowed to sit in, because it's my pew. You try to sit in my pew, I'm going to stink eye you till you leave. I'm going to make you so uncomfortable that you leave. Because this is my pew. You know who I'm talking about. And you're like, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to get old so that I can love Jesus. But that's not the path, guys. Jesus didn't say, like, wait until you're older. He's calling you right now. He's calling you in high school. He called you before. He called before he even created you. He knew the plans that he had for you. So don't wait. Don't wait until you're older. And don't wait until something sounded like someone got tickled. What happened? What? Oh, there was something on the screen? There's someone writing funny things up there and I don't know it? I don't know. But don't wait for some big conversion experience, or don't wait for something really bad to happen, to hit a rock bottom, and then you realize I have no other option. I have to trust him. Don't wait for that. A lot of people do wait for that. But when we don't know, Jesus wants to lead you to true happiness, not just iPhone 11 happiness, you know? We put all this value in all these things in our lives. We have a desire in our hearts, and we try to fill it with electronics and popularity and social media and sex and drugs and alcohol and all these things that are just gonna leave us wanting more or fading away or feeling empty. You know, iPhone 11 comes out and you're like, yes, I need that. And then you get it, and 4 months down the road, what happens? The iPhone 11R comes out in my favorite color. I need to get it. I'm gonna drop this one because my parents probably have the insurance, so it's gonna be fine. They'll just buy me a new one. And then a few years down the road, it's iPhone 39 comes out, and you're like, but I only have the 11. I want the 39. Actually, I want the 9, the one they never made. I want that one. Because they never made it. I want what I can't have. Why did they not make the 9? Why did they skip the 9? Once again, really smart people, they forgot the 9. I know they were trying to line it up with 10 years, but they could have thought about that beforehand, right? And not skip the 9. But they did. I want it. I want the 9. But Jesus is leading you to a joy that's not just waiting for the next thing, because he is the next thing. He is the only thing. And he wants to be in a relationship with you. And he wants you to be eternally happy, not just a fleeting happiness, not just something that fills this void for a little bit of time and then you need to go to something else. He wants to be the one that makes you whole. And he wants to lead you to what your true purpose is. But the thing is, we live in this world and a lot of people don't know what they want, or they don't know their purpose or why we exist. And that lack and that feeling leads us to we have no meaning. And that lack of meaning makes us think we don't have a purpose, we don't have a direction. You know, for example, if a caveman came across a toaster, he was out hunting dinosaurs. I don't know, were they around at the same time? I have no idea. But whatever, he was just out on a stroll, and he sees off in the distance this shiny little metal thing that he's never seen before. What would he do if he saw a toaster? What do you think? He'd flood it? Club it, yes, yeah. He would probably, first, before he even got to that point, he'd probably be a little bit scared about it, right? He'd be like, that thing is gonna eat me. I need to hunt it right now. So he'd probably hunt it, scope it out, take his club, hit it. He'd probably circle it a little bit, size it up, and then he'd probably take it by the plug, swing it around a little bit, bang it on a rock, try to eat it, because he doesn't know what the true purpose of a toaster is, because electricity and white bread hadn't been created yet. So he's like, what is this thing? And that's kind of how we are sometimes. If we don't know what our purpose is, then we don't know what our destination is. And if we don't know our destination, we don't know what direction to go. If we don't know what direction to go, we think there's no hope for us. So we have to pray about that purpose. You know, like I told you, I have been at a lot of retreats over the last, a lot of years. I was a youth minister before, and for 6 years, and I've been a full-time musician for the last 8 years. So I've been to a lot of retreats, and I've heard a lot of stories. I've seen a lot of conversions. I've seen a lot of brokenness. And I was at this one retreat. It was in Maryland, and it was Saturday morning. It was like a weekend-long retreat. And Saturday morning, there were 3 witness talks from 3 high school girls about your age. And I kid you not, it was 3 attempted suicide stories, back to back to back. And I'm sitting in the back of that room, like, my heart is breaking for these girls. Like, what went so wrong? What did they do? What happened to them? Like, what was done to them that made them think that there's no hope for them? What made them believe that they're not worth it? What made them think God does not want me on this earth anymore? What made them think that? And the thing is, I know that that's not isolated to just Maryland. I see it a lot. This lack of hope. But you have to know that you are not here by chance. You're not just randomly here. God created you. He loves you, and he has a purpose for you. You know, I was with a bunch of like 1st graders to 8th graders yesterday. And I said something similar to them, that there is a purpose for each of you. And the thing is, we put a lot of value in a bunch of things that don't matter. I just wrote a song about it. Like, the thing that matters the least, we put the most value in. We talk about how beautiful that person is. Oh, she's so beautiful. She's like the hottest person in the world, and he's the most handsome guy. Like, we lift that up. And guys, the thing is, you did nothing to yourself to make you look what you look like. You just look what you look like. God made you that way. And we're like, lifting that up is the greatest thing. The thing is that that's going to fade. And then we're going to get to that point. Maybe you are really beautiful. And then we're getting to that point where you're like, I need to like get Botox so I can stay this beautiful. And then you start looking a little bit weird. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But like, we put all this value in things that don't matter. I just forgot this is being live streamed, so sorry about the Botox comment. Anyone? But like, the thing that matters is that we are loved. We have a God who wants to be in a relationship with us, and he's given us an example of how to be in a relationship. Like, our God himself is in relationship with himself. He's 3 persons in one. He's a Father, a Son, and the Holy Spirit. He's showing us, giving us an example of how we are supposed to live and how we're supposed to be in relationship with him and with each other. And I want to share one more song, and then we'll end this. This time we'll have a little bit of a break. But this song is a song about worth. And it was inspired by this little family, and it's about singing the praises of our God, staying in close relationship with him always. No matter what our life looks like. Maybe like right now in your life, maybe you're like vibing in the front row and you're like, life could not be better. Or maybe like you're going through some stuff right now. Some really difficult things. And no matter where you're at in life, we have to stay close to him because he will lead us to joy. So this song is a song I wrote once again, it was in January. I guess I write a lot of songs in January, but I remember that because I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota in January. You guys are from North Carolina. Don't go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota in January. It's freezing. And so I was there thawing out in my hotel room after this event. And I ended up mindlessly just flipping through Instagram. You guys probably never do that, right? No, I know. I'm the only one in the room that mindlessly flips through Instagram. And that night, I'm normally not like a creeper on Instagram. Like, I usually don't read many of the comments or anything. But that day I did. And my friend Britt over here, he was tagged in this photo. And I was intrigued by it. It was a baptism photo, and then I ended up like clicking on this other dude's profile. I was like, he's got a cool beard. Let's go see what he's doing, you know, down the Instagram rabbit hole. And I was not prepared that night for what I was about to experience for the next couple hours. Because this Instagram was dedicated to this man who I've never met. It was dedicated to his family, in particular his third child. And one of the first things that I read was a letter that went something like this. It said, "Dear Dr. So-and-so, you probably don't remember us, but about 5 years ago, you recommended to my wife and I that we abort our baby. And I'm writing to tell you that you were wrong. You said she wouldn't live more than a few seconds, a few hours, and she just turned 5 years old. That father and that mother said to that doctor, you said that she wasn't worth it. And I'm telling you that she is. And I'm sitting in this hotel room, like sobbing, like losing it. I think, are you crying too? Yeah. That's okay. I'm almost crying right now, you know? I think anyone would. And I always joke that, I have 3 sisters and no brothers, so I blame them for all the girly things about myself. Like, I wear skinny jeans. It's okay. There's usually someone in the band who has skinnier jeans than me. Sorry, Gabe. And I genuinely love chick flicks. I like them. I don't just endure them for my wife. I like them. And I cry. And, there's a lot of Sound of Music in my house growing up. So I'm a crier. And I think anyone that night would have. Because every picture that was posted was about their daughter, Pearl Joy. And it was very obvious that something went wrong. And it was obvious that there was a lot of struggle and that Pearl needed 24/7 care. And this family gave that to her. And she brought them a lot of joy, Pearl joy. I love it. But it wasn't without difficulty, because following Jesus doesn't mean life's going to be perfect. But every post that I read, every picture I looked at and then read the post below, it had hope in there. Somehow through all this struggle, this father, this mother were still able to trust in the Lord and know that there's hope. And it was so eloquently written. And I'm sitting there like losing it, and I'm just thinking about all the things that I complain about, all the ways that I blame God for things. My wife, she reminds me on a pretty much daily basis that I have the easiest job ever. That I get to sing songs and write songs and play the guitar and call that work. And I don't disagree with her, but I still find things to complain about. Maybe you do too. Things to blame God for. And that night, this man and this mother and this little girl inspired me to try and stop complaining so much, to know that there's hope in the Lord, in the darkest of dark and in the brightest of bright. And so I stayed up that night and I wrote this song. And it's called Sing Forever, because that's what we're called to do, to sing the praises of God no matter where our life's at, to reach out in relationship to Him, to call out to Him when we need something, but also to thank Him for all the good things He's given us. So I want to teach you this chorus, and this will kind of be our closing prayer before we break for a few minutes. The words are really simple. The words are sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. It goes like this. So I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. Try that with me. Yes, I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. There are countless ways you love me, endless ways I don't deserve. But I am shaken by your mercy, taken over by your love. You have won all of my heart, for you are good, oh good. You have washed away my hurt, for you are good, so good. Sing with me. So I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. You bring a hope when I am hopeless. You are joy when I need peace. Oh, your love is everlasting. In your glory, death will cease. You have won all of my heart, for you are good, oh good. You have washed away my hurt, for you are good, so good. Here we go. So I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. I will sing, yes, I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart, of my heart. In the darkest dark of the night, I will sing of your love, sing of your love. In the brightest part of the light, I will sing of your love, sing of your love. In the darkest, in the darkest dark of the night, I will sing of your love, sing of your love. In the brightest part of life, I will sing of your love, sing of your love. So I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. I will sing, yes, I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. Let's sing it again. Yes, I will sing. Come on. Are you awake? I will sing. Don't be shy. I will sing to the King of my heart. One more time. So I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart, of my heart. You know, God's love, it doesn't waver, and neither should our praise. He loves us the same as the moment that he thought about creating you. He loves you the same. There's nothing that you could do that would cause him to love you any less. So know that, believe that, and know that he's created you to be in relationship with him, and he's created you with a purpose. You are not here just randomly. You are not here without hope. So I want you to do one thing before we break. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Don't be that one creepy dude that's just staring at me, though. There's always one of you guys. It's always a dude. It's like everybody's eyes are closed. I'm just going to stare at PJ. It's really awkward. I want you to think about what God has blessed you with. Like, what are you good at? What are the talents that you have? Maybe you're a great student, great athlete, or a great musician. Maybe you're one of those people that can do math in their head. Maybe you're a great listener. People come to you because they know you'll listen. Or a great speaker. Maybe you're funny. Maybe you're really welcoming. Like you never want anyone to feel left out. What are you good at? Keep your eyes closed. If you haven't thought of it yet, take that home with you and pray about it. Ask God, show me what you want of me. What gifts have you given me? And the second thing I want you to think about and pray about right now is, how can I take that gift or those gifts that you've given me, and how can I give them back to you? How can I give them and let the world see them to bring you glory, not for me, but for you? You can open your eyes. Pray about that every day. And you will find an answer. Because God has a purpose for you. And he loves you. And we need to give that gift back to him and lift him up every day. Let's sing those words one more time. I want to hear you this time. Don't be shy. Don't be shy high schoolers. I know it's like you're worried about what people think, but let's everybody lift our voices. The words are simple. And let's not be shy to sing the praises of God. Here we go. So I will sing, you guys. There we go. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart. Last one. So I will sing forever. I will sing forever. I will sing forever to the King of my heart, of my heart. So this time I think we're gonna break for lunch, right? Am I correct? Is that right? One more talk? Oh, we're not lunch. We're gonna break. We're gonna have a little like 10, 15-minute break. And then we're gonna come back. And we'll have one more talk and then we'll have lunch. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you for singing and thanks for vibing in the front row. And so bathrooms are out those doors there. So go get a drink of water, use the bathroom, and we'll be back here in just a few.
There's snacks in the main room as well.
Boom.
church. We pray, revive this earth. Build your